What's up to all those alone in the zone? It's the Inca slash thinker, John Eli Lopez, back once again on a mission to get you one step closer to being the king or the queen of the pencil. And today I'll be showing you guys how to take real characters and turn them into comic book characters. If you guys would like to follow along, all you would need is a tablet, the Procreate app, and a stylus. Okay, so let's get started. I wasn't going for photorealism, just the persona of the characters. And the characters I chose is Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And if you notice, I first started with their head and that action line in the middle. So I just laid them out. I wanted them standing that heroic stance. First, building up the Kamala character. And let me reiterate again, you are just taking pieces of their persona. Some of her signature features, is her blazer, sneakers, pearls, and jeans. So once I establish her stance, these are the main features I'm going to try to focus on to try to capture her character. So once I got her stance in, so I didn't want to totally finish her before I kind of established where I wanted my boy Joe Biden standing. So I wanted to try to bring them both up at the same time. So once I had that established, then I deleted that layer of the initial sketch, the outline layer. And I kept the one where I did the pose. So rather than have to go over that particular layer and then erase, I created a brand new layer that I'm just going to follow that outline that I did. And that's going to be clean with just the dark official outline that I'll be using. So you see I'm getting those features in for Kamala. And once I make sure I have, her stance, I'm happy with that. The knee in, those type of things. And some of Joe Biden's signature features. He has squinty eyes, that grayish white hair. He, for this particular thing, I wanted him presidential in his suit and hard bottoms. They're like any heroic duo that you would see. They're already drawing you into what's happening here, right? And there we go. Once you start adding color, you're adding life to these things. And it's like a series of trials and errors. As I have a hair in, decided to make that a dark brown, but I definitely want to add some highlights at particular points of Kamala's hair. So I'm here just trying to figure out what would make it stand out more and complement the overall look I'm going for. So that is something that's good about the Procreate, and the stylus of the Apple Pencil. You are controlling the amount of pressure when you push down on the pencil. So You know, as you see, I have some parts that's a little dull than others, and then some are gonna stand out a little more. So that is the tricky part here that I'm figuring out. You know, getting the skin tone in and matching up all the colors. You don't want things to clash too much. So I know I wanted Kamala more into the bluish and grays to, you know, she changes it up, but those are the colors that I find that, you know, you see her in a lot. So we're getting these sneaker laces in. And once I have that, now I gonna play both of these characters off each other. So I'm getting Joe Biden here in, and you know he has less here, of course, than Kamala, but that still doesn't change the fact that you want to separate the darks and the lights when you're doing hair. That gives you that visual effect of strands and gives you that effect that you don't have to sit there and try to put every single strand in because then you could fall into, you know, an overkill. You want to leave things to the viewer's imagination. And that's the whole part of illustration and creating that illusion. So now, you know, as I move on to Joe Biden getting that hair and suit in, and you know, I think they matching up kind of good together. Get the shadows in there. They be just you know, making sure and getting those shadows in. And for the shadows, just to keep it all uniform, I created an entire layer on top of both. I created a new layer on top of them, and I reduced the opacity to 50%, and I just use black. So that is gonna, you know, that saves you time. You know, some people do it with each individual color and giving that its own shade, and that's a good way to do it too. But for what I was doing here, I just wanted to, you know, get through this and give them uniform shadow. And I was happy the way it came out. And I used a little bit of white too on the same layer for highlights. And once I'm happy with the two main characters, now we're going to move on to their arched enemy. And of course, you know, you can guess who their arch enemy would be. And I decided to do an exaggerated version of Trump. Much younger, you know, brolic, looking like a, you know, a towering kind of figure, you know, the solid football player looking physique and insane eyes and smile. So definitely an exaggerated version of Mr. Trump here. And that's what makes, you know, comic books and these kind of things interesting. You don't have to copy characters exactly. You could take little pieces of them and, you know, create your own. So once I had the villain, now, you know, we're gonna try to bring all these pieces together and create a scene. I see him, you know, looming over them, and you know, I had to enlarge his body that I did, you know. So I decided to let me enlarge that and have him in the background, like taking up the whole background. And wanted a shadow there so the blues are not clashing. So I added a shadow, blurred that out, and now I've created another layer of Joe and Kamala and put that behind and added a glow to it. So I didn't want to go with the white, so I decided to do the yellow glow behind them so they'll stick out a little more. I decided to make Trump look at them with the crazy eyes. I brought a flag in, image of a flag, and just added some layer effects to it. I didn't want it too bright, so you see me, I'm just going through some different layer styles and effects. And I settled with a toned down flag in the background. So that's why I left that. I wanted you to see the different changes I was going through. And Procreate doesn't have type. So I came up with some type in another program and brought that into Procreate just to show you guys that you can, add stuff and bring it to the final stage, which almost looks like a comic book cover that you can buy somewhere. And this is something I would pick up. Political wars. I added another layer of the type behind it, added a glow effect so that sticks out. And there you have it, folks. We are done. Very nice. I hope you guys got some value from this video. If you did, commit an insurrection on that subscribe button. Hit the like. Leave a comment. Any feedback will be appreciated. So until next time, John Eli Lopez signing out. Y'all be good and be safe.